Good evening, everyone. I hope you're all energized and ready because we are entering one of the most powerful and insightful parts of Zoho Books: inventory and reporting. Whether you are a small business owner, an accountant, or part of a finance team, what we are going to explore today will help you gain control over your products, stock movement, and financial reporting all within Zoho Books. This hour is going to be both interactive and practical, and I encourage you to participate actively. You will understand not just how to manage inventory, but why it's important and how to use Zoho Books to make it easy. Let's quickly look at what we are covering in this session. First, we'll understand how to enable inventory tracking and set up the module inside Zoho Books. Then we'll move into managing items and services, how to define them, and what details are important. Next, we'll learn about stock adjustment, such as manual updates and entering your opening stock. Then we'll trace the inventory flow, what happens when you create an invoice or bill involving inventory. After that, we'll go into the heart of business insight reports like profit and loss, balance sheet, cash flow, and GST reports. And finally, we'll wrap this all up with a recap and question and answers where I would be more than willing to solve all your doubts. So grab your notepad, open your Zoho Books if you want to follow along, and let's begin. Let's start at the very foundation. What do we mean by inventory? Inventory is basically the products or goods you buy with the intention to resell or the raw materials used to make products you sell. In Zoho Books, inventory helps us answer questions like how much stock do I have right now? When do I need to reorder? Which items are selling fast and which are not? And most importantly, what's the value of the stock I have? So, if your business buys and sells products, inventory tracking is non negotiable. Now let's look at the other half of today's topic, reporting. Why is reporting important? Because business decisions should never be based on guesswork. Reports tell us, are we profitable this month? Where is our cash stuck? Is receivable in receivable or inventory? Which expenses are eating into profits? What do we need to pay in taxes? And if you're applying for a loan or raising investment, reports are your best friend. And the great news is Zoho Books generate all these reports automatically if you've set up your data properly. So today is really about setting up the groundwork for smart reporting through proper inventory tracking. Let me now connect the two. If your inventory isn't accurate, your reports won't be either. For example, imagine you sell 10 units of a product, but your stock wasn't updated correctly. Now, your cost of goods sold in the profit and loss report will be wrong. Or suppose you forgot to enter the opening stock value, that means your balance sheet will under-report your assets. So yes, inventory and reporting are closely linked, and that's why they are being taught together in this session. Let me give you a real world example so you would be able to understand it better. Let's say you run a small business that sells organic honey. You buy jars, labels, and honey from different suppliers. You bundle them into a final product and sell to customers online. If you don't have inventory tracking, you'll run out of stock without knowing. You might accidentally oversell. You won't know how much each unit costs after including packaging, and you will be lost during GST filing. With Zoho Books, when you record a purchase, stock increases. Make a sale, stock decreases, and reports auto update like P&L shows the revenue and cost, and the balance sheet shows what stocks you have left. Isn't that neat and clean? All right, now that we understand the why, let's move to the how. In these next section, that is enabling inventory tracking, which would include setting up FIFO or LIFO, configuring base units, and preparing your system for accurate stock control. Now, why is inventory tracking important? Think about any business that sells physical products, whether it's a retail store, a wholesale distributor, or even an online e-commerce business. These businesses need to know what's in stock, what's sold, what's running out, and what's expired or slow moving. That's where inventory tracking becomes a game changer. By the end of this section, you'll be able to turn on inventory tracking in Zoho Books, understand its impact on transactions, and configure key settings that impact your stock flow and valuation. Let's get the basics down first. Zoho Books Inventory allows you to, wait a minute, uh, this one. Zoho Books Inventory features allows you to track quantity on hand, automatically update stock levels when you sell or purchase goods, view stock reports like valuation, reordered level, and more, maintain opening stock for each product, and integrate seamlessly with sales and product purchase modules. So essentially, it helps you track products from procurement to sale. Before we switch it on, there are a couple of points to note. One, you must be the admin to enable this setting. Second, once inventory tracking is enabled, Zoho Books start reducing or adding stock based on transactions. You need to define inventory method, FIFO or weighted average, opening stock for each item, units of measure. Steps to enable inventory tracking. Go to settings, preferences. Mm, Okay. Well, the thing here is that since this is a US based account, and oftentimes Zoho sets Zoho Books account different for every user. So chances are you might not be able to find items option up here, but don't worry, it's available here only. A separate module. Go here, items. Look for the section labeled inventory preferences. Items, inventory adjustment preferences. And choose your valuation method. Your valuation method could be first in, first out. Now here you can see that my item module is somewhat different. But don't worry, I think you'll be able to understand it as well. For example, set a decimal rate for your item quantity, to measure item dimension, inches, and all that. Duplicate item name. Do we allow them? I think I don't allow it. Enhanced item search, price list. Enable price list. Apply price list at line item level. Composite items. Inventory. Enable inventory tracking. If I click this option up here, I can select a date here, for example, from 1 Jan 2020. And then you can select advanced options from here. For example, enable serial number tracking, enable batch tracking, and all that. Units of measurement, you can choose units of measurement from here and can even set unit conversion rate from here as well. And can determine, what are the settings that you require up here. For example, inventory adjustment, approval. You can create inventory adjustment and perform further action without any approval. And if I select a simple approval for that, we do need approval. So that was on the setting sides for items or inventory. Now, once inventory tracking is enabled, only specific users should be able to adjust or override stock. For that, again, let's close settings, click on settings, and then you need to go here. users and roles up here. Let's see. Yeah, here users and roles. Users, as I have said earlier, with that you can determine who your users are going to be. For example, invite a user. Okay, wait a minute. With that, it would lead me to Zoho admin panel, and from here I can choose who are going to be the other user for this one. And in roles, I am going to define role for each one of the user. For example, if I create a new role here, inventory manager, inventory manager, inventory manager, I can determine that, how much control I'm going to give to this person. For example, let's say customers, vendors, items, give him full warehouses, transfer order, stock counting, banking, let's take control from him, and same here. He would be only able to track inventory, and then you can save it. You cannot enable access for the following reports. See, with that, I have created a new role, inventory manager, that would be only able to track what's happening in inventory of our organization. With that, I think I was able to clear that once you're able to define your users and roles, only specific people would be able to access your inventory, and the other people in the organization who do not have that access won't be able to see it. When you first turn on inventory tracking, Zoho will not assume any stock for your items. You need to manually enter opening stock quantities for each product. For example, here, let's go on item and create one of the items. For example, let's name it ABC eraser. ABC eraser. Okay, and its SKU would be ABC only. Okay, units should be pieces up here, I think. Yeah, unit. And what you can do here is that, set its selling price as well. For example, for one unit, its selling price could be $5 sales, and its cost price would be $2 here. Track inventory for the item. Yes, I do allow tracking for this item. Inventory account. Let's take it as inventory asset and inventory valuation mod of FIFO. Now, let's set its opening stock. That could be 100. Opening stock value per unit. Let's set it as 3, and then you can save it here. With that, we have created an item up here. ABC eraser, SKU, its purchase rate is 2, and its selling rate would be 5 here. Stock on hand, 100. Usage unit that we are using is unit. So as you see here in Zoho Books, you can define your unit of measurement like pieces, kilogram, liters, boxes, etc. SKUs, unique codes for identifying your products. This is helpful, especially when you use barcodes, have multiple sizes or colors, and sell in multiple units. Now, let me walk you through a real life scenario. This one I think was a demo scenario that I show you that how I can create an item up here. Suppose a retail hardware store has 500 bolts in stock. Each bolt is bought for rupees 10. They enable inventory tracking. Enter opening stock as 500 units valued at rupee 5,000. Every time they invoice a customer for 50 bolts, stock drops to 450. They always know real time stock. When it drops below 100, they get a reorder alert. Let's take this one only. Let's create an invoice here, and I think you would be better able to see that what's happening here. Let's go to ABC Eraser. I think here you can see that opening stock is 100. Let me quickly create an item here. Invoice. Okay, let's take the customer name as KYC Limited. That what I KYC Limited. KYC Limited. Not able to find companies accredited. Wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. Let me quickly create a customer up here. Demo customer quickly up here. Salutation, business marketing. Okay, select. Okay, this one is up here. Quickly just add it up over here. Save. Okay, select the tax exempt. Let's see how select this as taxable. Save it. Select the tax rate VAT 5%. Okay, then save it. Now let's take the item from here that we created moments ago, ABC. ABC Eraser Yasi. I didn't even need to do anything. I just typed ABC Eraser and it was able to fetch all the relevant information for me. For example, its rate, that means its selling price is 5 here. But now let me see how much items I'm going to sell. Let's take it to be 10 and 52. And then I can save it as a draft and mark it as sent. Now let's go to items once again, and I'm going to show you something here. Now go to ABC Eraser. See, are you able to see? The opening stock was 100, but now the stock on hand is 90. Now, why is it 90? Because we sold 10 units of eraser. That's why stock decreased here. Here's a quick recap of what we've done in this section. Turned on inventory tracking and preferences, set FIFO or weighted average method, defined opening stock, added SKU and unit, set user permission for stock control. Let's now move into our next section, creating items and services, where we learn how to add all your product detail into Zoho Books. Now that we've seen how to enable inventory tracking and how to set up items and services in Zoho Books, it's time to talk about something crucial in inventory management, stock adjustment, and opening stock. If you've recently moved your business into Zoho Books, how does the system know how many units of each item you already had in stock before today? Yes, exactly. We need to tell Zoho Books the current stock levels, and that's where opening stock entries and manual stock adjustment come into play. Let's begin with this concept. In real life, stock quantities change for a number of reasons. We purchase goods, stock increases. We sell goods, stock decreases. We perform an internal audit and realize there's a mismatch. Some items get damaged or lost in transit, or sometimes items get added mistakenly. So we need a way to manually adjust stock quantities and values to keep our books accurate. Zoho Books gives you a stock adjustment feature for just that. With this, you can increase or decrease stock for an item, update the quantity or rate value of the stock, maintain records with remarks for audit purposes. Let's say you are managing a stationery business. You did a physical count of your items and found you had 97 pens in reality, but Zoho Books show 100 pens in stock. This means you need to create a stock reduction entry of 3 pens. You can note the reason for example, damage during delivery. On the flip side, let's say you find more stock than expected, say 110 markers instead of 100. You would increase the stock by 10 and note inventory surplus found during audit. A pro tip for everyone, always add a note or remark when adjusting inventory. This helps during audit and internal reviews. I think whatever I told right now was theoretical. I'm going to demonstrate you this one as well. We'll take the same item, ABC razor, and let's take two separate instances. For example, here my stock on hand is 90, and during audit, I found that my total items to be 110. What would I do? I would go here, adjust stock. I don't need to put any reference number up here. This new quantity in hand would be 110. Same cost price. Select a reason. Uh, Stock on fire, stolen good, damaged product. Let's randomly choose one from here only, and I can add it in the description that surplus, inventory found during audit. Then convert to adjusted. Now see here, your opening stock was 100, but now after adjusting it's 110. Similarly, let's say your stock was 70. What you need to do is go here again and set the new quantity on hand, 70. Cost price would be 3 here, and you can select a reason. For example, stolen goods, items stolen from warehouse, and then you can convert to adjusted. With that, you can even adjust your stock depending on your situation, that whether you found your real stock to be more than the stock that's mentioned here, or your real stock was comparably less than the stock quantity mentioned here. Opening stock refers to the initial stock quantity and value of of the item when we start using Zoho Books. Think of it as the baseline or starting point. Opening stock entries are usually made when first moving to Zoho Books from another system, or when you're starting inventory tracking for the first time in your business. Just like I did for this item, since this is the first time I'm starting tracking for this item, I decided to enter a opening stock here. Each item should be entered with initial quantity on hand and purchase rate or cost price. Now, it's very important. Opening stock is a one-time setup. Once you enter it, Zoho Books treats it as the starting quantity for tracking future purchases and sales. Let's say another example for everyone up here. You have 50 units of LED bulbs and the cost of each is 100 rupees. So your total opening stock value is 5,000. This gets recorded in your books as an asset, inventory asset. Now, I think I have told you how you can add an item up here. So I won't be telling you that thing again, but I'm just going to mention that in brief here. You need to mention the name of your item, SKU, and can select a unit from here, whatever you would like. Can select its dimension as well, manufacturer, UPC, shipping, whichever is relevant to your business. Then here you need to very carefully mention the sales information. Selling price is the price at which you're going to sell your item. Cost price is the price at which you purchase that item. You need to mention those values up here. Then you can mention them, description, whatever you would like here. Can enable tracking or not as well. I have enabled tracking up here. Inventory account. Can select an inventory account here. I choose inventory asset. Your valuation method from and even from both, and what is going to be your opening stock and the value of the opening stock per value, and then you need to save it. That's all we need to do here. Now, another thing I'm going to tell you as well up here, this is going to be composite, even discard composite items. Let's create another item before we move there. That that way I would be able to better explain you that. Okay, item plus what was that company that I created early moments ago? Wait a minute. Uh, no, sorry. Stay here. Items. No, yeah, leave and discard. What was the company? Let me see my company very quickly. Okay, let's quickly add an item up here. This time we are going to let's add it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pencil, pencil, and set it SKU as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 capital P. Unit would be, let's take it as unit only. Let's set its selling price as 10 and its cost price as 8. Okay, and inventory tracking, let's choose this as inventory asset. First in, first out. Let's choose 120 and 8 here. And then you can save it. So right now we have created two items, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pencil and ABC eraser. Let's go to composite items. Let's the ABC eraser is able to get, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pencil. 3, 4, 5 pencil. Okay, let's cross it. Name would be stationery combo. Name would be stationery combo. Item time, assembly item. A group of items combined together to be tracked and managed as a single item or kit item. Individual items sold together as one unit. Let's take it as kit item. Its SKU could be 145 SC, capital C. That would be pieces as unit as well. Sales information, sales price. Either I can copy from total 5 or 15, or since it's a combo item, let's put it as 13 and save it. Maximum kits there are 70. And why they are 70? For as you remember, ABC razor, we have 70 items up here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pencil, we have 120 units. Since 70 is less than 120, it's a limiting factor up here. That's why the maximum kits that you can form here is 70. I hope I'm able to clear composite items as well, though I think it was bit difficult than individual items, but I think once you would try your hands here, you would be able to learn it as well. To recap, manual stock adjustment help you correct or update stock quantities after audits, damages, etc. Opening stock sets your baseline when you begin using Zoho Books. Always include proper documentation and notes for adjustments. These steps ensure your reports, books, and compliance stay crystal clear. Awesome. With stock adjustment and opening stock properly managed, you've now ensured your inventory is not just digital, it's reliable. Let's move on to the next section where we'll explore how Zoho Books automatically handles stock during invoicing and purchase flow. Now that we've seen how to enable, wait a minute. Right, let's go to it. Now that we have seen how to enable in inventory tracking and made stock adjustment, it's time to understand how inventory flows through Zoho Books as part of your sales process. This is the most exciting part because here Zoho Books becomes your silent partner in automatically updating stock levels, reducing manual work, and keeping your records perfectly in sync. Let's start with a simple question. What happens to your stock when you sell an item? When you sell something, your inventory should go down. Zoho Books handles this automatically if you have your inventory module enabled and set up properly. The system links your sales transactions like invoices or sales orders with your inventory, ensuring stock is deducted immediately once an item is invoiced. Think of Zoho Books like a vending machine. Each time someone picks an item, that is, you raise an invoice, it automatically subtracts that item from what's available. You don't need to open the back of the machine and count how many are left. Zoho Books keeps score for you. I think in case of sales, I have already told you how we did that, and you were able to see it as well. That once we sold an item was deducted from there. But despite, I'm going to show you once again. But before that, let's briefly summarize all the steps that we have learned. Step one, create an inventory item. You first define an item under items plus new item and ensure it is marked as inventory tracked item. At the SKU, selling price, cost price, and opening stock if applicable. Then what you need to do is that if you're selling an item, for example, you need to create an invoice. Let's create an invoice for this item, stationery combo. How many stocks? Stationery combo. Let's see. Go here. Let's see if I can get a vendor. ABC. Yeah, here, ABC Test Company. That I think would be better. And what was the name of the item? Stationery combo. Now see, once I selected stationery combo kit item, all the items within that combo were here only. Now what you need to do here is that determine your units. Let's see there, they adjusted themselves automatically here only. And now let's see. So basically we are selling 10 of these ABC razor and 10 of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pencil. Save it as a draft and mark as sent. And let's go to items and see. Does Now see here, from 70, it has come down to 60, and from 120, it has come down to 110. That's what happens. Like you do not need to adjust your stock, it would adjust itself automatically. Now, another case for you here, suppose this time you're going to purchase an item. Go here. Let's take the same company, ABC. Is it here? Yeah, let's take asphalting. Okay. And let's choose the item to be. Let's take it as to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pencil. And we are selling 20 units. No, we are purchasing 20 units of our pencil. Save as open. Bill number. Okay, let's enter the bill number. Let's it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and enter a valid bill date. Okay, 23. I think should be fair. Save as open. So how many units did we purchase here? 20 units. Let's go to items and see. Items. Are we able to see? From 110, it has become 130. That's what I wanted to tell you, everyone, that you do not need to keep a manual update of your stocks. With Zoho, whenever you're purchasing an item or whether you're selling an item, inventory or the stock here would adjust themselves automatically. And one more thing I would love to show you here. How many stocks you're able to see? 61 stock in hand up here. Let's say I'm going to sell 61 of them. What would happen in that condition? Let's see that one as well. If I'm going to sell 61 of them. ABC. ABC Truck Test Company. I think I need to take those ABC results. No, ABC Racer. Let's take them to be 61. What would happen in that case, huh? 61. Say it has given me a red warning, 60 units. Let's see. Normally what happens is that when you're selling more than what you have, you'll get a warning. Let's take this as to be 70 and save and send. No, cancel it, cancel it. Let's just mark it as sent here. Okay, I got it. So what happened here is that, it created an invoice. Now, what you can do is that, go to settings and you can enable that setting. For example, I only have 60 items up here, but I sold 70 here. In that case, if you're selling more than what you have, Zoho would give you a warning that you are exceeding your stock. That's what would happen in that case. I think I'm able to tell you this inventory flow process, like what happens when you create an invoice, you sell something, and when you purchase something. Now, question for you, everyone, if any one of you like to answer it. What if the invoice is cancelled or a return happens? Does anybody would like to answer this one? Okay, I'll answer this one for you. If you delete or void the invoice, the inventory is automatically added back. And if you issue a credit note, Zoho Books give you the option to restock the returned items. Let's quickly summarize how inventory moves in Zoho Books. Action and inventory impact. When you create an item, a opening stock is entered. Once you create an invoice, stock is automatically reduced. When you cancel an invoice or it is voided, stock increases back. Credit note with restock, stock is returned to stock is increased by that returned quantity. Sales order, stock is reserved if you have enabled that setting. Inventory flow in Zoho Books is like an invisible thread linking your sales team and your stock room. As long as your items are correctly set up and you're consistent with your transactions, Zoho Books will ensure your stock levels are always up to date. Remember, it's not just about managing stock, it's about automating and protecting your business from inventory errors. All right, team, now that we've understood how inventory flows through sales and how Zoho Books updates stock automatically, let's move on to a very crucial section of Zoho Books, something that ties everything together and speaks the language of decision makers. Core financial reports that you can see here in reports. These reports are not just numbers, they are the heartbeat of your business. They help you understand if you're making money, losing it, or simply coasting. Let's walk through the key financial reports available in Zoho Books. I'll show you how to access them, what insights you can extract, and how each one helps you monitor business health. We'll cover profit and loss, cash balance sheet, cash flow statement, audit trail report, aging summary, and trial balance. You can access your reports from here, reports, and once you click here, you can see all of these reports, whichever would be relevant to your organization. I'm going to tell you about some of these reports, but not too much in detail. Let's begin with the most common report, the profit and loss statement, also known as the income statement. Navigate to reports and profit and loss. This report shows you your total income minus total expenses over a period, usually monthly, quarterly, or annually. It gives you a clear picture of your profitability. Let's take an example. If you sold 5 lakh worth of goods, but your expenses are 3 lakh, your net profit is 2 lakh. That's your bottom line. The key components here are revenue, cost of goods sold, gross profit, operating expenses, net profit or loss. See, as you can see, your operating income, sales, total for operating income, cost of goods sold. Your gross profit comes out to be that much. Then what are your operating expenses and their total? Your operating profit comes out to be this much. Then what's your net operating income, your total for non-operating income, your non-operating expenses, and finally, what's your net profit and loss? Similarly, you can go to balance sheet, which is a snapshot of your company's financial position at a given moment. It's structured into three main parts: your assets, current assets, bank, account receivable, current, other current assets, other assets, and your total for assets, liabilities and equities are together here, liabilities, your total for liabilities and your equities, and total for equities. What we need to always do here in this balance sheet is that, our total for liabilities and equities, that is 2639634.32, has to match our total for assets. And if it's not matching, we might have done something wrong. Think of the balance sheet as your business selfie. It tells you if you're financially healthy or over leveraged. Used by banks when reviewing loan application or by partners and investors for due diligence. Check on any figure. Zoho will drill down to transaction level details. Now, let's look at the trial balance. This report lists all general ledger accounts and their balances. Go to reports. Yeah, here trial balance. This is mostly used by accountants to verify that the books are balanced. Debits have to equal, should be equal to credits up here. If we do find any discrepancies here, we have to prepare adjustment at the end of the month. This report, that is trial balance, is not for everyone, but extremely valuable for our accountant. If you work with an external, if for example, any one of us out here work with an external CA, CPA, they'll ask for this at tax time. Next is cash flow statement, which tells us where the money is coming from and where it's going. Zoho Books classifies our cash flows into operating activities, sales, expenses, payment receipts, investing activities, purchase of fixed assets, see cash flow from investing activities, and financing activities here, loans, capital injections, dividend payouts. This is different from profit and loss because it focuses on actual cash movement, not just accrual based income and expenses. Uses it to check, do I have enough cash to pay vendors? Am I over trading? Am I accumulating cash or burning it? Now comes a very practical report, that is aging summary. Your account receivable aging summary, receivable and payables here, and your accounts payable aging summary. Okay, so this report breaks down what's overdue, due soon, and not due yet. Columns include 0 to 30 days, 31 to 60 days, 61 to 90 days, 90 plus days. Or you can decide for yourself manually. For example, current 1 to 15 days, 6, 10, 16 to 30 days, 31 to 45 days, and greater than 45 days. It's, it is helpful with following up on overdue payments, managing vendor dues, and improving cash flow. Audit trail, activity logs, and audit trail. This is a log of every change made in Zoho Books. Here you can see who made the change, what was changed, when was it changed. Now, why is this useful? It ensures accountability within your team, prevents fraud, and helps in audits and compliance. With that, let's quickly recap what we have seen here in this section. Profit and loss tells us whether we are profitable or not. Balance sheet shows us our financial health. Trial balance ensures books are balanced. Cash flow statement reveals where our money flows. Aging summary highlights due payments. And audit trails helps keep an eye on our team's actions. These reports are interlinked with our purchases, sales, inventory, and banking activity. So, the better your data entry and categorization, the stronger your reports. All right, everyone, we've covered a lot in this session, from enabling inventory tracking to seeing how it flows into our reports and financial statements. This section is where we tie it all together, reflect on the key concepts we have explored, and tackle some time for questions. Before we move into the Q&A, let's do a structured recap of what we learned today. Number one, enabling inventory tracking. We started by enabling the inventory module in Zoho Books. This allows us to start tracking our stock levels, get alerts when items run low, and ensure all inventory transactions are recorded. Second, items and services. Next, we looked at how to create items with key attributes: SKU, unit, cost price, selling price, tags, preferences, and warehouse action. You can even group items using bundling. This is great for business selling kits or combo products. Third, stock adjustments. We explored how to manually adjust stock both for opening balance and for day to day corrections like damaged goods or stock reconciliation. An important note: always leave a comment in the stock adjustment. This builds a strong audit trail and accountability. Fourth, inventory flow through sales. We looked at how creating a sales invoice for an inventory item automatically reduces our stock levels. This automatic deduction ensures our stock reflects reality, no manual updates needed. Fifth, key financial reports. We dived into the reporting side. We discussed how inventory affects profit and loss, tracks cost of goods sold, balance sheet, shows inventory as an asset, trial balance, ledger level balance view, cash flow, how inventory purchases affect operating cash, aging summary, who owes you and how long, audit trail, who made changes and when. You can even export reports, schedule them weekly, monthly, or customize them with filters. Now, I would love to hear from every one of you here. What questions do you have about anything we covered today? Whether it's enabling inventory, adding items, tracking stocks, or understanding reports, let's clear them up here right now. As I say it always, no question is way too small or no question is ever too big. Feel free to raise your hands or drop your question in the chat. Since nobody's giving me a question here, what I'm going to do is give you guys a question. And if you are interested in answering, let's see. What happens to stock levels when an invoice is created? Does anybody out here would love to answer that? Okay, I think with that, I would love to wrap up the session. Before I wrap up, let me say something. Inventory is the backbone of any product-based business. And when integrated into your books, it gives you control, clarity, and confidence. Whether you're a startup or scaling enterprise, Zoho Books helps you handle inventory with automation, accuracy, and real-time financial insights. With that, let's wrap up this session. Before we go, I would love to say thanks to everyone here. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your time, and thank you for your curiosity. Now we would be meeting in the next session. That would be your penultimate session, your final session, and with that session, we would close your Zoho Books training.